Hello students, welcome you in this session, and we are going to learn radioactivity. In this section we will learn atoms and radiation. After the session you should know what is radioactive substance, when does a radioactive source emit radiation, what are the different types of radiation emitted by a radioactive source. In 1896, a French physicist, Henri Becquerel, discovered the image of a key on a photographic film he developed. The film had been in a drawer under a key. On top of that, there had been a packet of uranium salts. The questions that came in his mind, that there must be something related to uranium salts. It must have sent out some form of radiation that passed through paper, the film wrapper, but not through the metal, the key. This gives an idea that something is stopping the radiation and it is getting penetrated through other types of material. Young physicist Marie Curie investigated the phenomena. She found that the uranium salts emitted radiation all the time. She used the word radioactivity to describe this strange new property of uranium. Marie Curie and her husband Pierre discovered new radioactive elements. They named one of the elements polonium after Marie's native country, Poland. Now, question comes in mind, what stops the radiation? The physicist Ernest Rutherford carried out tests to answer this question about a century ago. He put different materials between the radioactive substance and a detector. Rutherford discovered two types of radiation: alpha radiation, which was stopped by paper, beta radiation, which went through the paper. Scientists later discovered a third type, gamma radiation, which is even more penetrating than beta radiation. Here you have three different types of radiations getting penetrated and stopped. Here you can see alpha radiation is stopped by paper, and beta radiation is stopped by aluminium, and it is penetrating through paper, and gamma radiation is stopped by lead. We will discover this in the next section more. Rutherford discovered that alpha radiation is made up of positively charged particles. He did further investigations in which a narrow beam of alpha particles was directed at a thin metal foil. Rutherford was astonished that some of the alpha particles rebounded from the foil. He proved that this happens because every atom has at its center a positively charged nucleus containing most mass of atom. He proposed that the nucleus contains two types of particle, protons and neutrons. Here you can see the basic structure of an atom according to Rutherford. We will explore further in the next section. Every atom has a nucleus made up of protons and neutrons. Electrons move about in energy levels or shells surrounding the nucleus. Most atoms each have a stable nucleus that doesn't change. Now the question arises, why are some substances radioactive? Atoms of a radioactive substance each have a nucleus that is unstable. An unstable nucleus becomes stable or less unstable by emitting alpha, beta, or gamma radiation. An unstable nucleus is described as decaying when it emits a radiation which is termed as radioactive decay. No one can tell exactly when an unstable nucleus will decay. It is a random event that happens without anything being done to the nucleus. Let's quickly recap. A radioactive substance contains unstable nuclei that become stable by emitting radiation. There are three main types of radiation from radioactive substances: alpha, beta, and gamma. Radioactive decay is a random event. You can't predict or influence when it will happen. Radioactive sources emit alpha, beta, and gamma radiation. Now, let us investigate radioactivity. There must be some question regarding this. How do we investigate the phenomena of radioactivity? To detect radioactivity, we use Geiger counter. Here you can see the basic model of Geiger counter. It is made up of a tube called Geiger-Müller tube and connected to electronic counter. Counter clicks each time a particle of radiation from radioactive substance enters GM tube. Now, let us answer few questions. Name the radiation from a radioactive source which is stopped by paper. The answer to this question is alpha radiation. Alpha radiation. Next question. Name the type of radiation emitted by a radioactive source which goes through paper. The answer to this is beta radiation. Next question. Name the type of radiation from radioactive sources that is the most penetrating. Answer to this question is gamma radiation. Next question. Explain why some substances are radioactive. Radioactive substances have unstable nuclei. They become less unstable or stable by emitting alpha, beta, and gamma radiations. This makes the radioactive substances radioactive. Now, next question. Describe the substance that make the Geiger counter clicks very rapidly when it is brought near the substance. So what substance? Radioactive substance. Radioactive substance. For example, uranium. There are multiple other radioactive substances. This is it in this session.